And welcome back to the 20-year franchise rebuild of the Arizona Cardinals. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. So I think I completely just changed up the name this episode. It's the 20-year rebuild of the Cardinals. We're entering into year 12. This is the 12th episode. I hope you guys have been enjoying this series. I appreciate all the love and support. It really means the world to me. As we turn our attention here to the Cardinals, we're currently, we're coming off a year. We went 11-6. We were the number 3 seed. It's back-to-back years with 11-6 years. And we have a lot of core players to have to re-sign. You know, we're kind of in this spot right now where we have our quarterback in Will Britley, who we extended. He's on a 7-year deal. He's basically going to be our quarterback for the remaining of this rebuild. He's only going to get better. He has superstar development. I hope in the next now handful of seasons, he's able to take us to the Super Bowl. We've been able to put together a roster that has some solid players. As you guys do see, Paris Johnson has retired. That now leaves only Marvin Harrison Jr. as the last remaining Cardinal that's not drafted. We do have to re-sign him if we want to keep him. But for this offense, over the years, we've brought in players like Wade Rayfield, Henry Harris, Bobby Summers. We have good, solid offensive weapons and continuing to add to it. It was also the first year of 4th overall pick going into year 3 now in Mitch Ford. And Ford had a solid season. I think he's ready to become our next, number 2 wide receiver. And this experiment a couple years ago, or this swing, has been working. We did have another first round pick in that same draft class, the 1st overall selection, and we drafted Andrew Moore, a pass rusher, 79 overall. The thing about Moore is this: he's registered 1 career sack. Now, I don't just look at the sack numbers. He has had 12 TFLs in his first year, then 9 in his second. But regardless, Andrew Moore has been a bust. And I don't know if I'm looking to attempt to replace him with a veteran, but I don't know if I'm even looking to replace him whatsoever. We have a ton of key players needing new deals. Wade Rayfield, Thurman, Elijah Fletcher, and Dalvin Lawrence. I mean, just to name our 3 best defensive starters, our 3 best interior defenders as well, all needing new deals. One of our top offensive weapons as well. So this is a very important free agency. We have $137 million. It's going to go away pretty quickly. Just to look around the league with retirements, we see Bryce Young has retired. We see a drafted player as well. Puka Nacua has retired. I'll see if there's any. So Zay Johnson was on our team, but Paris Johnson, this is the big one. After 12 years, having him be our solid left tackle for us. So tackle is going to be a question mark for us. I don't see any other players that are that was on our team. Oh, Justin Herbert. Herbert has officially called it a career after 16 years. And he played, 5 seasons with us? And he played solid. I mean, got us to the postseason a handful of times. I wish I could look at his career numbers, but speaking of that, I feel like we should do this at the beginning of each episode from here on out, just to see. So Will Britley, in 5 seasons, has put up solid numbers: 128 touchdowns, 48 interceptions. To a couple 11-6 seasons, happy to see that. Henry Harris, who I traded for, coming off a 1,000-yard season. He's produced well. Reggie Powell, 6 years in the league, 1,200 yards and 17 scores. Don't forget, he was behind Jahmyr Gibbs for a handful of seasons, so he's never really gotten an opportunity. And then Frank Royal, the power back that I traded for actually a couple episodes ago with the 99 break tackle. He's developed nicely. He's going to probably be expected to be our RB2 this year. In terms of receiving number, Marvin Harrison Jr., almost 10,000 yards, 63 scores. How would you guys rate Harris's career? I mean, from he was supposed to be the guy. I don't know why it doesn't show those numbers. It took him a very long time to hit 1,000 yards, actually until year 5, year 5. And then he went on, included in year 4, he went on a 4-year stretch of very dominant and very solid. And then he had a couple quieter seasons, back to 1,000 yards, and now he's kind of a depth receiver. So how would you rate his career? When you look on the other side of things, Wade Rayfield, I mean, give him another season, he's gonna have more receiving yards than Marvin in 4 less years. We drafted Ray in the 6th round and slowly developed him, and for 5 years straight now, he's posted up 1,000 yards, and he improved every single season after we gave him a nice long extension. Now we've been in this franchising tag and everything. I am looking to extend Wade, but he's our main guy. We also have Bobby Summers. We drafted him gonna be 5 years ago, and he's posted up some solid numbers as well. But maybe getting another veteran in this receiving room could make a lot of sense. Our offensive line, Blake, first ever selected drafted player. He's allowed the most sacks. Also needing a new deal. I'll probably look to extend him, both him and Marvin, just for the nostalgia effect. Dalvin Lawrence here. He's been an excellent traded player. Same thing here with Elijah Fletcher. Fun fact for both of these guys, we traded them from the Browns. Fletcher has posted up a great career. Thurman, who I did draft, he's posted up very well. Jalen Dixon has 25 sacks. He's our other defensive tackle. We say coolest Mims here. He's posted up a couple solid seasons. And then we have a few 1-sackers. Derek Stingley has 47. And then we see a bunch of other guys that have some interceptions. I'm not going to do all around the league. Maybe I'll do that at the end. But let's get into re-signing players, and let's move this episode along. So we have $137 million. It's going to go very quickly. We'll start here with an easy decision, a 5th-year option for Cameron Wall. Drafted him a handful of seasons ago, and he was an elite prospect coming out. I think he was like an 82 overall, and he's developed very nicely. The 2nd best center in the league. Easy decision there with Cameron Wall with the 5th-year option. So Dalvin Lawrence, he does not want to be here, but we see our other free agents want to be here, and a few other guys that are role players that I will absolutely want to keep. For Blake Sherwood here, I'm gonna offer him a 2-year deal. Just he's a good veteran to keep for starters, and he's a solid starter, first ever drafted player as well. Did not want to let him go. I'm making some of the easier decisions. Marco Hughes, keeping a depth corner around, and I think that's gonna be probably it on the down end. Manny Joseph here, we'll probably let him test as well. Same thing with Hannah. For Marvin, absolutely gonna give him this 1-year deal. Solid depth at wide receiver, never bad to have. Thad Phillips here, this is an interesting one. It's not a lot of money, but we're gonna let him test. He's a solid receiver. For Derek Stingley and Reggie Powell, also letting them test, leaving our top 4 players to attempt to bring back. I think the first one, we'll get that out of the way, is Thurman here. 31 years old. He is slowly regressing, but I am going to give him a 2-year deal. Just don't want to, it's not a whole lot of money. 2 years, 15. Elijah Fletcher, he wants a little over 25. He wants a little over 10. And same thing here for Wade. I am going to give him this 3-year contract. He is our best receiver, and I can't really lose him. Fletcher will be next. We'll get the easy ones out of the way. He re-signs that 2-year contract. And even though he does not want to be here, I am willing to tag Dalvin. And he wants to test free agency. Not going to let that happen. I guess it's a smart financial move on his end. That's $19 million, leaving us with 63. So we do have some cash to work with this year. And just a little preview of next year's contracts, you know, some lower overall role players, but then you have Deion Fitzpatrick. This will be a big contract. Same thing, of course, with Lawrence. Jeremy Jones, maybe we bring him back. Jalen Dixon, our second defensive tackle. Mike Royal and Branch are our 2 free safeties. And some other guys, you know, Justin Lay, current 3rd corner on the roster. So we do have to keep all that in mind as we enter into these next handful of seasons. When looking at this team as a whole, tackle is probably the weakest position on this offense. You could argue try to get another wide receiver, but, you know, a year ago we drafted Cameron Hayden here, another young receiver, star development. He reminds me a lot of Thad Phillips, but he's already his overall star development. I don't know if I'm really going to force the issue at wide receiver. When you flip it over to this defense, it's interesting because I think we need to get younger with Fletcher, Thurman, and Lawrence all getting a bit older. You know, Tyrone McKinney and Tyrone Weston here are 2 secondary playmakers. You know, they're kind of in their prime of their career, and kind of continue to add pieces around them. I think that this defense could absolutely use a new free safety, another corner. You could argue linebacker, but I think Mims has been playing well. Defensive tackle, a young pass rusher potentially. I think we have a little bit more work to do defensively, as a lot of our focus has been on the defense, I feel like, when we enter into free agency. Looking at open free agencies, $63 million. For whatever reason, the game always says I have 2 targets, so we can only target 3 guys. You know, we see a big defensive tackle, some offensive linemen. Will Anderson is out here. You know, this could be a solid move, because we are on the cusp of trying to win a Super Bowl. So it's this fine line of trying to go all in, but also leave us money to keep the guys that I want to keep. So I see a few players. Let me try to make some moves. Well, I really want to reload this defense. So Jermichael Taylor here, coming off a 12-sack season. We're going to give him a big 1-year contract. A guy that I probably should have never let go. 2 years in Philly, he posted up 10.5 sacks each year. So Cole Beckham, we're going to try to reunite, and Timmy Brumble as well. He's a mentor at corner, and I think that's never a bad, you know, decision to have a mentor in the corner room. But we help out this defensive line after evaluating, getting Taylor as well as back Cole Beckham. I think these 2 moves, as bringing back a familiar face, but also bringing in a veteran that we really don't know, I think we're trying to reload, get back to the Super Bowl, or not back to the playoffs, but, you know, we have now 3 superstar to X Factor players on this defensive line. Andrew Moore could be that 3rd edge rusher if necessary. And I honestly would say, if we don't add a corner in this draft, or a safety, I think our defense, regardless, is pretty much set. You know, Branch could start if needed. Same thing with Justin Lay. So tackle becomes probably my major focus now. I'm going to target 4 more players. Laws here, a tackle. Just try to improve this offense a little bit. Tap here, Daquan Tap. He was on our team for a season, but played pretty well for us, and trying to reunite there. Emmanuel Moreland, a solid inside linebacker, also a player that we know pretty well, and try to bring back Reggie Powell. So some solid depth players that could also play a potential role on both sides of the football. And after free agency, here's the state of the team. You know, we brought in a new tackle. We brought back a couple depth offensive weapons. Honestly, I think going in this draft, we're looking offensively for, you know, maybe a future tackle. That could be really the only thing that I can think of. I don't think trying to bring in another weapon makes a lot of sense. So yeah, offensive line depth potentially. When you flip it over here to the defense, you know, you could argue in a young pass rusher, a young corner. You know, we're a very good team. We have 2 first-round picks, the 13th pick, as well as the 30th pick. So I'm not looking to move up. I might trade back though. But when you find a top 5 talent, you draft him. Cole Timmons here. I was looking at a corner. He's a 21-year-old, top 5 potential, 1-2 round. Ratings all look solid. Absolutely, we are going to select Cole here. A+ selection, 3rd ranked in the class. Hidden development with 94 speed. Most likely will be a day 1 starter. We do have Justin Lay. This is just trying to improve already on a group that's very good. Well, we're gonna go down the route of drafting a safety here. Nicholas McLean here. We're gonna select him, getting 2 safety or the secondary prospects. And Nicholas here is ranked number 1 in the class. We got him here at 30. Oh my. Hidden development, 90 speed, solid athlete across the board. Nothing screamed at me best player in the class. I thought this would be a solid mid-round 1 talent player, but hey, kudos to me. I'm gonna be trading the 30th pick in the class. I would like to get some future capital. And here in the late 2nd round, I felt that this was the best option for us. And on the defensive side of the football, I'm gonna go with Demario Birdie here. We did get a cut screen. 6'4", 59 ranked, 98 strength, also hidden development. So improving the defensive line, getting a bit younger as well. Well, you guys know this just intrigues me too much. Javar Good here, who's 6'9", 234. Hey, he's 6'9", he's a tight end. For starters, how bad could it be? It's very bad. And hidden developments and another 6'9" tight end, just getting depth. First offensive player we selected. I don't have a lot of players in this draft class, so we're gonna be taking some shots here probably here in the 5th, 6th, and 7th. I do want to draft a tackle. Emmett Mayo's here. B, pass blocking. I saw A, awareness. Not a great selection. Just gonna be probably depth at tackle for us. Cameron McFadden here, an outside linebacker here in the 6th round. Got him right around where he's supposed to go, so hopefully that's a solid pick. And then I'm gonna go draft another fullback, Jared Morgan here. Intriguing player, ranked 35th in the class. We got him with one of the last selections, so I missed last year. This time I'm not missing. So what do you think of this draft class, ladies and gentlemen? We got 2 top 3 prospects. Cole Timmons here, got him at 13, 77 overall. I don't know if he will start right away, but he's at least a very good, intriguing corner. And then I drafted a safety here. Surprised that he's this high of a rated player, but Nicholas McCain here. Very excited to see. This is not the first time I've drafted a corner and a safety in the first 2 with 2 first-round picks in a class. Then I drafted a defensive tackle and DeMarco Berge here, and solid to start off with, and he's very strong. Then really after that, I didn't have too much of a game plan. Got a couple 63 and a 66. But Jared Good here, Or Javon Good here, 6'9". Reminds me a lot of Rashad Kitchens when we first drafted him. But regardless, he's 6'9". Got another fullback. Happy to see that. So let's get this roster down to 53 and get into year 12. As we're about to get year 12 underway, this will be the team. You know, throughout this offseason, we were able to keep a lot of our in-house talent together, bring in a couple very, solid starters for a season or two. Laws here is a solid tackle who we brought in, and I think he's going to fill in very well at right tackle for us. Defensively is where we made a couple more bigger moves. Jermichael Taylor at defensive tackle, bringing back Cole Beckham, drafting a hidden dev defensive tackle, hidden dev safety and corner as well. So I think we're ready to reload. Well, we reloaded. Let's see how far this team can take us. I think we got to the NFC Championship game, and we're off to a hot start with a nice victory, but an injury to start off with. Thurman will be out. Jalen Dixon will take over. Regardless, we need to have a hot start. That usually kind of tells me that we're going to have either a good year or a bad year. Already with a breakout opportunity, it's a defensive back. I wonder who this is for. I really don't show you guys this type of stuff. Let me know down below if you would want me to. This is for Tremaine Weston here, our top safety. Trying to go up to X Factor. I think he has a solid chance. $84 million in cap room. Here are our free agents. Fitzpatrick, Dalvin Lawrence here are our two probably biggest ones. And then we have players that we've brought in, role players, backups. So there is a good amount of important decisions to be made here. But, at the end of the day, guys, we can't keep all of our quality depth. We have a quarterback on a big contract, but I think a lot of those moves we'll make either later on in today's action or at the beginning of the next episode. Tremaine Weston here, does he get X Factor? Let's find out. We are 3-0 right now, guys. I don't know if I've pointed that out. He didn't get it, but he get 5K or 4,000 experience, which is nice to see. Let's see if we start off the first month of the year 4-0, and we do fall to the Jets, going 3-1 to start the season. So far, so good in my opinion. Britley here, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception so far. Harris is playing well, but Frank Royal has 5 touchdowns, as Harris he doesn't even have 1. But Mitch Ford leads the way. Cameron Hayden here, playing solid. Wade Wayfield here, struggling early on. Passing game just looks kind of solid in the first month. Cameron Wall has allowed 4 sacks. That surprises me. But Mims here playing well. Elijah Fletcher with 3.5, Jalen Dixon with 3, Taylor with 2. So we are getting some pressure. Tremaine Weston with 3 interceptions. This is a very good start for this team, and I'm happy to see that. Well, we just destroyed the Rams. I simmed the next week, but I want to pause here because there's just so much in front of me right now. We have a weekly award here, and this is for Will Britley throwing 3 scores, rushed and a touchdown. We have player breakout chance here, part 2 here for Tremaine Weston, I guess. I don't know if this is going to be a another opportunity for X Factor. I didn't read anything that they said. That's on me, guys. But I guess he didn't get the second breakout chance. We have a linebacker here with a breakout opportunity. I assume for this is for Mims. Edukulis Mims here, trying to go up to superstar. 3 tackles for loss, and Mims would get a dev upgrade. don't know if he can really do that, but we'll see. And then a quarter breakout opportunity. And this is for Will Britley to go up to X Factor. Would love to see that. So let's see. 325 yards and 2 scores. To get to X Factor, that's probably the easiest chance. So let's sim ahead here. We have our rivals in the Niners. Do we get 2 breakout opportunities? We did get the victory. It was a close game. So did we accomplish the goals? He needs a little bit more time here as Mims here. But still 2,500 experience for Will Britley. Definitely has an opportunity. I mean, we put up 27 points and it wasn't his best game. So I assume that we're just going to get some experience here. And we do. So 4,500, not too bad. Let's sim here to the trade deadline and see where we are. So I have no idea what the fuck just happened. Will Britley had a good game and now he's an X Factor. Nice. Well, as I sim the next 3 weeks, we are 7-1. One of the best teams in the league. Will Britley has thrown 19 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, playing very well. Seeing the running game doing very good. We see Mitch Ford has been picking up. Same thing with Wade, Cameron as well. You know, the offense is starting to wake up more. Offensive line is playing well defensively. Fletcher with 6.5. Cole Beckham starting to make some plays as well. As Elijah Fletcher hasn't really reported much of anything. I wonder if he's getting playing time. 8 TFLs, 4 interceptions for Weston. Not so bad here to start the season. I'm not looking to make any sort of trades. $84 million. I would say Fitzpatrick is the only one that I want to get out of the way right this second. And I want this to be a 6-year deal. I don't want to think about one of our corners. He does sign. I don't even know the cap. He's just too important not to keep. Everyone else I will make decisions on later. But we're 7-1 here, folks. So far, so good for our team. And we just beat the other top team in the Green Bay Packers, moving us to 8-1, #1 seed currently. And so far, so good here, guys. We've had 3 years in a row where we've been a top 3 team, and this should be another chance for us to get back to the postseason and an opportunity maybe to win it. We do get the victory here over the Chicago Bears, so I'm gonna sim ahead and see what our record is. As Tremaine Weston's season continues to be impressive, he just goes up to X Factor, so our top 2 players are now X Factors. That's fantastic. So we've gotten all the way to week 18 here. We're 13-3. We've had back-to-back years with 11-6 records, and now we're back as the first seed for starters, guys. But we're having one of our best seasons, really, of the whole franchise. I saw that Tremaine Weston has 7 interceptions, leads the way. How did we get to this point? I also want to show you guys, because I'm not forcing any of these wins or losses here. I mean, we started this season, it was a back and forth affair, and then we just kind of turned it on here, going on a massive winning streak, blew a couple losses, and now we are back into the winning column 4 weeks in a row. It's really nice to see. So let's get past these Seahawks. We are the #1 seed, so we have 2 games to win to get to the Super Bowl. And after a 14-3 record, we did beat Seattle. We have a top-tier passing offense, a top-tier scoring offense. Defensively, we don't let teams run against us, and we have a very good defensive line. We'll be playing against the Minnesota Vikings now. They were the 4th seed, and we will either face the Bucks or the Eagles if we beat them. On the other side, we have the Steelers, the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Colts. So who will be advancing? You know, it's 3 straight years we've had very good records, very good wins, and now we're 1 game to go. Can we get to the NFC Championship game versus this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team? They don't do anything particularly well besides not allow a lot of points. Somehow the number 2 seed. Let's see if we can get ourselves to a Super Bowl. And I think that's our season. I think we lost. It does not say the score. And we lost 17-14, ladies and gentlemen. Shaw Jackson here. I think he's a solid quarterback for them. Had a solid game. This was a defensive heavy game. And that's just unfortunate. Our second year receiver, Cameron Hayden, had a solid day. Oh man, our quarterback didn't show up to play well. Defensively, solid amount of sacks. This is just unfortunate. This is depressing right here. Man. Let's get... I just sim past the Pro Bowl. Well, fuck. So I think I sim past the yearly awards, which is completely my bad, guys. I did. So we'll only see the season recap. Sorry, guys. The Bills won the Super Bowl, beating the Bucks 27-14. We see back-to-back years with Nick King becoming the being the what's it called? The coach of the year. And that's us. So that's very nice to see. I don't see any other yearly award guys, so that's unfortunate because I think Jermaine Weston probably had himself definitely a Pro Bowl year at least. Will Britley popped off here in year 5, broke out to become an X factor for us. 4 years now in a row where he's produced very well. He did take a step back here last season, but still, he's been the home run pick. We drafted him first overall a handful of years ago now, and he's our franchise right now. Running game, Harris had a solid season, not 1,000 yards, but 8 scores here for Frank Royal here. That's nice to see. Wade Wakefield continues to have 1,000 yards and just broke over 10,000 with that campaign. Mitch Ford had a solid season. And yeah, I think we have, for starters, I think we have our 3 young offensive receivers with Wade. That's nice to see. Pap here, solid season. No catches here for, that I see of, what's his name? Marvin Harrison Jr., who's not on this screen. So that probably means he's retired. I don't know if I'll be able to see his... I don't think I will be able to see his career stats, but I think he had over 9,000 yards and 63 touchdowns or something like that. But regardless, offensive line, Blake Sherwood, 10 sacks allowed. Worst on the team, but the offensive line played great. Devin Lawrence and Mims here, 100 tackles each. Fletcher with 10.5. Jermichael Taylor with 8.5. Cole Beckham with 8.5. Jalen Dixon. We did not see Thurman play a whole lot. Don't love that. But Jermaine Weston pops off with a 7 interception season. Love to see that. He also breaks out to an X Factor, and he's now 29 years old. And this season kind of comes out of nowhere as a ball hawk, but he's one of our best players. Happy to see that. But yeah, guys, year 12 will end on an NFC championship loss, and back to the drawing board As we go into this offseason with $63 million, we have still a couple big names to consider and depth to reconsider as well. But guys, that will be next time as we, again, attempt to reload and attempt to get back to the postseason. And, you know, how many more #1 seeds will we get? We're going to enter now into year 13. We have 7 more episodes, 7 more shots. And I think we have a legitimate chance. It's just, can we put it all together for one season? Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's action. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you in the next one.